Hey everybody, how's it going? Nexius here. So I've noticed a lot of you have come to the channel in regards to Diablo content. So hey, what's a better way to start off with some more Diablo guides? If you want to see any more guides, any future videos, don't be afraid to leave any requests down below. Today I wanted to talk about magic finding and how it works in Diablo 2. In Diablo 2, magic finding and looking for items is one of the best, most common ways to play this game. So I want to go over some of the basics here that are really important for anyone that's new to the game, or even just returning, or maybe you didn't know something. So first of all, we have to start with the basic question: what is Magic Find? Magic Find occurs on items in Diablo 2. It's a stat that gives you a better chance of getting magic items. Stacking this will further increase the chances of getting better items, and we'll go more in depth with this in a moment on exactly how that works. So let's talk about the loot table. Items have various different qualities: normal, magical, rare, set, and unique. Unique is one of the best in regards to some of the top end items. So when you are looking for top end items, you want usually the unique version or even set version, such as Talrasha's, if you're looking for a top quality item. So the way Magic Find plays a role in this is with the loot table. When a monster is killed, the game will first determine what type of item will be dropped: a potion, a town portal scroll, maybe a helmet, a ring, or a weapon. So it's going to choose what it ends up being. So let's say, for example's sake here, it chooses a helmet and it goes with a Shaco. Okay, well, the Shaco has one unique version, and that's the Harlequin crest. And this is something I like to look for early on in a character's progression. It's one of the best early on helmets for sure, and even in some cases the best helmet in general. So finding a Harlequin crest Shaco, especially on a sorceress early on, is amazing. So I like to target for the unique version of this Shaco right away. So once the item is determined, it has picked a Shaco. Now the game has to check for the quality of this Shaco. Is it going to roll unique, set, rare, magical, or if worst case, it's just a simple normal Shaco? So let's talk about this. The order that it checks is unique first, and this is a very big deal because when you're looking for high quality top items, you want usually the unique. So because it checks for unique first, the higher magic find you have will increases the odds of that roll happening on the first check. So if it doesn't check unique, it then goes to set, which a Shaco in this case doesn't have. Then it goes to rare, then magical, and again, if it fails, it goes to normal. So we want the unique version. So with the more magic find we have, let's say the Shaco has a 4% chance to be unique. So when it goes to check it when it drops, right, it checks for unique first, it's got a 4% chance with no magic find. But if we have a 100% increased better chance, that doubles it to 8%. So it goes up big time. However, there is diminishing returns after patch 1.09, so don't stack too much magic find. I like to stick between 300 and 400% if you can get around that without slowing down your attack speed too much. So here's another statistic example here. According to a drop calculator I used a while back, with 0 magic find, Hell Mephisto has a 1 in 1,819 chance of not only dropping a Shaco, but that Shaco being the unique version, the Harlequin crest. So this is what we're targeting. So without any magic find, it's going to be just under 2,000 runs of having even one drop. The odds anyway. With 100 magic find, this quickly goes down to only 1,063 chance. And with triple that, 300% magic find, it's now a 1 in 771 chance. Now there's another way you can increase your odds as well, which we'll be talking about in a second here. So the more magic find we have, again, keep in mind diminishing returns, the higher chance of getting unique items. So killing bosses, for example, with no magic find, you'll see a lot of magical and rare items drop, just crappy items. But with high magic find, you'll see a lot of uniques dropping and a lot of sets dropping, and that's what we're really aiming for here. Alright, so we talked about Magic Find and how it increases the quality of the item. Now, some of you might be wondering, what about the amount of items that drop? Is there a way to increase the quantity of items dropping? So you want a lot to drop. There is actually a way to do this. So when you're by yourself, there is this loot chance on monsters. Whenever a monster dies, it has a chance to drop no loot. We call this no drop. When you're by yourself, aka /players1 on single player, one person in a game, monsters have at least a 60% chance to drop nothing. That's why you'll notice not too many things drop when you're by yourself. But if you're playing multiplayer, suddenly when you have a lot of people in your game, you're seeing a lot more items dropping. That's because the more people in your game, the chances of no drop is significantly decreased. When you're by yourself, it's at least a 60% chance, but in a full game of 8 players, the chances of a monster dropping no loot is only 1%. So drastically, you will increase the amount of loot that actually drops because the chances of them dropping nothing goes down significantly. In some cases, you'll see maybe Andoriel only drop like 3 items, but in a full game, you'll actually see like 7 items, for example, if you're lucky. So actually having more players in your game will actually not only give you more loot, but with all your magic find, it will also increase the quality of those items. So it's a really great way of finding high quality items quickly. Additionally, some items don't actually get affected by magic find, such as runes. So the best way to magic find them is to either kill a lot of monsters at once, such as the secret cow level, the chaos sanctuary, the world stone keep. Killing a lot of monsters will increase the chances of runes dropping, since they are not affected by magic find. So if you want to farm runes specifically, that's just one example. And another way to do that is also to have more players in your game, because if more items are dropping, that means each one is a chance of a rune dropping. So that's a great way to target runes specifically. Now, one more quick note in terms of quantity. On single player, you can't have people join your game. That's only on multiplayer. But there is a prompt you can use, or a cheat code if you want to call it that. There is one on single player. It's called /players1, and it goes up to 8. So whatever number you put in, the game simulates that amount of people in your game. So /players8 will simulate the game and the loot system to pretty much drop loot according to a full game. So if you want as many items to drop as possible on single player, just type in /players8 and you'll get a lot more items to drop as if you had a full party. Keep in mind though, it also simulates the health and the damage according to that, because the more players in a game, the more damage and health monsters have. And since you're by yourself on single player, it's going to be very difficult to kill them on /players8. So just be wary of that. Next, we have random facts here. Magic find is calculated when you get the kill. It's not calculated when you enter the area. It's nothing like that. So the second you land the kill, that's when the loot is determined, and that's when your magic find is determined as well. So a neat little strategy you can do here is have a high magic find item on your swap. I almost said swap, I don't know why. Have a high magic find weapon on your weapon swap, and have your high damaging weapon on your main swap. So damage the boss until they get really low, and just before you're going to kill them, switch to your high magic find weapon and then finish them off. And that magic find will be determined on the kill. So it's a neat little strategy you can do. Speaking of this strategy, your magic find on mercenary weapons, armors, and helmets, that will also be determined into your gear only if they land the kill. So if you really want to get your mercenary's magic find added to yours, make sure your mercenary lands the kill as well. If you land the kill, your mercenary's armor and weapon does not go towards it. So very important to note that as well. Magic find also applies to non-monsters like chests, corpses, barrels, urns, hidden stashes, and even the barbarian's find item skill. When you can actually find item, or if you're farming chests and barrels and urns and stuff, you can have a lot of decent items drop. I've had a Skin of the Viper Magi drop recently in a ladder reset, which is very, very rare, not only in general, but usually I have trouble finding a Viper Magi. So to find it not only at all early on, but to even find it out of a chest is pretty astronomical and shocking for me personally. So always check those chests if you can. Don't be afraid to. I've found plenty of stuff from there before. And as I said earlier, runes are not affected by magic find. So if you want to farm particular runes, such as for an Enigma, the Jaw rune, the Burr rune, you have to farm high monster density areas that include the cow level, chaos sanctuary, the world stone keep. Some areas also hold their own special chance of dropping runes, such as the Countess in the Forgotten Tower, or super chests, which allows lower Kuros chest farming to be a viable area to farm. So that's basically how magic find works. It's increasing the quality of items. If you want more items dropping, you have to simply have more players in your game. If you want to farm runes, more players in your game will increase your odds as well, since a lot more items drop, which increases the chances of those items being runes, but also in high density areas, since the more monsters you're killing quickly, the more items that are dropping. So that's pretty much how you deal with, say, rune farming, or socketed armor, or charms, and gems. But generally, bosses will be really good for high quality items as well. If you're targeting those sets and uniques, bosses, especially Mephisto, Baal, and Andoriel, I guess you could throw Diablo in there as well, but you do have to go through the chaos Boss packs, if you guys are aware of what boss packs are, you get like those groups of champions. Those are pretty good for finding decent items as well, including runes. So maybe don't skip them. I like to hit them, especially in full games. They can usually drop some good stuff, at least for me personally. There's also one more we need to cover, which is super high or super uniques is what I call them. You get these particular items that only drop in certain areas. For example, Talrash's armor does not drop off Andariel and Mephisto. You actually have to go into a specific area to find a Talrasha armor. One particular area I like to farm is the pit in Act 1. The pit is a higher monster level area. It's higher than most areas. We have other areas like this as well, including the ancient tunnels in Act 2. We also have Pindle skins, so these are some areas as well if you're looking for higher uniques or just general good items. So that's where we're going to leave this here today. If you have any questions in regards to Magic Find or items or anything, leave a comment down below. Hopefully I or another Diablo 2 fan can answer your question. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as always, and I'll see you on my next video.